Hi, fourth grade. We are so excited to be here today. We have a fun art project to work on today, which is soap carving. And before we begin this and tips for how to carve soap, we're going to talk a little bit about a science process because actually that process is exactly what we're going to be doing for this art project. That process is weathering and erosion. Have you ever seen the Grand Canyon? Have you ever seen a river or a cliff or rock, like mountains that seem to have been carved out from water? Have you seen the Mississippi and the land around it change? Well, those processes that can occur over a very long period of time, or sometimes a shorter period of time if there's a storm or flooding, when those processes happen, that process is weathering or erosion, and it changes the earth, and that changes every day. What we're going to show you today and what you guys are going to do today is this soap is just like a rock. And this soap, and this tool is like the weathering. And so if a storm comes in and water comes down, then you can see that when it carves or when it comes down in that water, or land or plants break up the land into pieces, you can see those little pieces that get broken up by the storm. That's weathering. That's the process of weathering. Weathering is the process where rocks are worn away or broken down into smaller pieces by wind, plants, water, and chemicals. And what erosion is when those little pieces need to get out of the way or wind takes them away. And we're going to pretend my thumb is the wind and we're going to take them out of my way so I can see what I'm carving. That's exactly what you guys are going to do today. And those pieces end up in the ocean of the plate. And it's the same thing with the Grand Canyon. So the Grand Canyon was formed by erosion and weathering from the Colorado River over a long period of time. And you can see that those little pieces are coming out when I'm carving it. That's weathering. And then wind would come along or ice would come along and a glacier would move that out of the way. And so this is the same thing we're going to do today. So while you're working today, you'd be thinking about the science. Weathering is breaking it up and erosion is moving it out of the way. And all of those things happen naturally to the earth every day. Now to start the art project, if you know what you want to carve or you've done this before, feel free to start right away. But what I like to do sometimes is I like to take a piece of paper and I like to sketch my idea first. When you sketch your idea, maybe you'll take a look at the elements of art. We've handed these out for you guys to take a look, and these elements of art kind of give you some ideas or maybe enhance the idea you have. If you know you want to do a heart, well, maybe you want to add some spiral to your heart or something. These are elements of art, and these are the suggested pieces that comprise a completed project. You don't have to use all these elements: line, shape and form, color, texture, space and size, and value. But they really enhance some of your ideas, and they're a way to further communicate your projects. So if you take your piece of paper and you do some sketching, you might come up with something like this. I sketched a sun. Once you have your sketch ready, then now you're ready to carve. And what I did is I took my sketch and I laid it on top of my soap. And I took my tool and I started to just trace around that drawing. And you can see that I traced around the straight edges here. And it started to give me an outline. And when it gave me an outline, like you can see here, there's a line that came from my sketch. When it gave me an outline, then what do? I start my weathering and my erosion process. And I take my tool, and there's two different sides to it, and I start working with the soap. Just like you guys create your pinch pots when you work on Art Smart pinch pots, this is the same idea, except this is dry. This is not clay that needs to be fired. But then you can start displacing and weathering your design, and it's a process. It takes some time, and it's kind of fun because it works in different ways. And you can see this is not a perfectly straight carve, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. So carving and weathering and erosion changes things. It displaces things, and that's exactly what we're doing. So don't worry if it's not perfect, because when you get home, you're just going to have fun with this and use it to wash your hands. But have fun with it and start to see how the medium and the soap works, and try to get some of your ideas down onto the soap. I can't wait to see what you guys create. I'm going to be coming around, and the parents will be coming around, and hopefully we can take some pictures. If you have any questions, ask your teacher or ask the parents in your room, and have fun carving. You can take these home today when you're done.